Hi boys and girls, let's look at the kingdom of fungi, the fascinating kingdom of fungi. So what's a microorganism? First of all, this term we're going to cover a number of different life forms which in most cases are too small to be seen in detail with the naked eye, like these little figures. Organisms that are included in this group are fungi, bacteria, protozoans, and a number of algae, some less well-known groups, and a number of parasitic forms from other groups. Let's look at fungi. As you can see, fungi can be absolutely stunningly beautiful. The characteristics of fungi are this. They are composed of threads called hyphae. All the hyphae make up the mycelium. They have no chlorophyll and they cannot make their own food like plants. They require a moist environment and suitable temperatures to grow. They feed by breaking down or digesting other organisms, which is why we call them decomposers, which is mostly plant matter, so we often see them decomposing things in the forest maybe, or sometimes dead plant matter, sometimes living plant matter, and they also absorb some of the digestion products of those organic materials. They reproduce by spores or by division of cells, and they are important to the living world as decomposers. They release the materials in which living things are made so they can be recycled. So they are nature's recyclers. So let's start off by looking at mold, which is a type of fungi, composed of a mass of hyphae that penetrate the food and cause it to decompose. Some hyphae grow vertically, so up and down, producing spore cases. These spore cases may make the whole mold appear grey in colour. Touching the mold can cause these spore cases to burst, producing a visible cloud of spores, like a green dust cloud. These fungi are very common and will attack a wide range of foodstuffs. The most commonly seen, if you touch a mouldy orange, you'll see the cloud of green spores. Oh, there's a mouldy orange for you. The first widely used antibiotic, penicillin, comes from a blue mold called Penicillium. So let's now look at bracket fungi. Bracket fungi, the hyphae of these fungi grow through the wood of dead trees, causing them to rot away. The hyphae form a fruiting body on the surface of the wood and release their spores into the air. Bracket fungi can be really beautiful and colourful, usually in the orangey brown range. Now let's have a look at mushrooms and toadstools. Fungi that grow through the soil and leaf litter and produce a large fruiting body with a general there was Hazel, with a generally characteristic shape, so you recognise that this is a toadstool. Many toadstools and mushrooms, well, not so much toadstools, but mushrooms are edible, but some of them can be highly toxic, and as a result you should be very, very careful when you are picking mushrooms to eat. A number of species of mushrooms are cultivated commercially, and they can actually be really beautiful. Like this one is called the wedding veil or the bridal veil mushroom, and you can see why. It looks like lace. Now let's have a look at yeasts. So yeasts are a single-celled fungi that reproduce by dividing into two. As you can see in this picture, these cells are splitting. Many yeasts feed on sugars, breaking them down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. They can be used in baking and bread making and the production of alcohol, like beer. Some yeasts can cause illness, such as a candida infection, which isn't very much fun. Now let's have a look at pathogenic fungi. So these are the disease-causing fungi, not very nice to experience. So many fungi can cause disease by attacking living plants. These diseases include rusts, like these little orange specks on the back of this leaf. That's a a fungi disease called rust in plants, or this one, which is powdery mildew. Some other plant diseases are smuts and blights, which I don't have photos of, I'm sorry. A few fungi can attack animals, causing disease. Tinea, or athlete's foot, is caused by fungus which grows under the skin between the toes, where it's always warm and moist and sweaty. Ringworm is another tinea fungus that lives under the skin, and it's not a worm at all. It's a fungus. So there you go. You might have had that in the past. Oops, I went too far back. That's the end of the fungi video. Bye.